Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to our latest webcast that we're bringing you from Travel Weekly as part of our Roadmap to Recovery series. And I'm absolutely delighted to be joined today by Kristin Karst, who is, of course, the co-owner of AmaWaterways. And Kristin isn't just joining us from an office somewhere. This is very exciting. Kristin is on board one of AmaWaterways ships. It's the Ama Magna. I think you sailed from Vienna. And it's exciting. It's an important day, Kristin, isn't it? Because it's the start of the season. And I believe you are one of, if not the first river cruise line to get its departures underway for this season. So how is it?
Well, thanks for having me, Lucy. I am absolutely excited. Yes, we started in Budapest on March 6th. Our very first embarkation on board the Ama Magna. We are on the Danube River. It's a 7-night cruise going from Budapest. Now, of course, we are sailing towards Vienna. And then we left Bratislava behind us. We were in Slovakia yesterday and we'll go to Wilshofen, close to Passau in Germany, and have tomorrow the beautiful Wachau Valley in front of us, where you can taste the apricots and, sip a lot of great wine, do some hiking and biking tours. And it is like coming home again. Everyone, the ship is full. First of all, I want to say we have 140 guests on board, which we are very, very happy in these current times. The Ama Magna is the perfect ship to start the season. It offers so much space for everyone. It's, of course, Ama Magna is the luxury of space, being the double white ship.
Yes,
we have a lot of guests on board who come from the ocean experience.
Sorry, Kristin, just remind people who perhaps don't know Ama Magna, because it is very unique, isn't it? It's this double width, so as you say, it's got much more space. And that obviously means it can only sail in to certain places, but you're saying it's a great one to start with.
It definitely is. So it is the double white one, where we have on board oversized staterooms. 80% of our staterooms are well over 350 square feet large, which is about 35 square meter. With the owner suite being about 71 square meter large, all with real balconies, some with French balconies, and 4 restaurants on board, several bars, an oversized fitness center where we do our wellness classes in the morning. Everyone loves stretching. We have the spinning bike, spinning with a view, a nice swimming pool that is also used on the sun deck. Even so, the temperatures are not that warm. It's nice and sunny outside, but we are still in winter, right? Yeah. But people love to go in their bathrobes and their slippers up to the sun deck and, have a little bath in the warm water, in the jacuzzi. Some play chess. Some even participate in our line dance classes, because our wellness host is doing so many different classes on board, from early morning, 7 a.m. gentle exercising, stretch, core, to TheraBand, to circuit training, to so many things. We have bike tours. So the tours are really like they used to be, a choice of so many different tours, and you have to choose which one you really want to join. Yeah. And the whole concept is everyone is so happy to be back on a European river cruise ship. And we are on the Danube. It's not so far away from all these happenings, but everything is very peaceful here, beautiful. You don't notice anything. And I have to say, we are in the travel business. As a leader in travel, we should show that it's beautiful and absolutely safe and okay to do a river cruise on the Danube, and all our guests would agree to it. I mean, nobody would even say they want to fly home again.
Yeah, well, I was going to talk to you about that, and you have raised it. So for people watching this, obviously you're referring to the horrible events that are happening in Ukraine, and clearly departing from Budapest, Hungary borders Ukraine, but you're saying nobody cancelled because you're sailing full, and people are very comfortable. They're very reassured, and they all feel fine, and it's very peaceful.
Yes, yes. Well, first of all, let me say our hearts go out to the people of the Ukraine at this incredibly difficult time. And we do have some crew members from the Ukraine as well, even from Romania, who decided, you know, they want to be close to their families. And so it is really a very, very intense time right now. However, when you land in Budapest, everything is normal. I mean, there were no signs to anything. Everything is normal. And the whole trip, if you don't know what's going on in the Ukraine, then, you know, everything is normal. Nothing, there is no sign that everything would be different from where it was.
Okay.
So everything, we start with the AmaMagna, our river cruise season now. And that is the first ship, the AmaMagna. The rest of our 21 ships sailing in Europe on the Danube, the Rhine, the Mosel rivers in France and in Portugal will be starting their 2022 cruises next week, and some in 2 weeks, but we will operate all our ships. And while our river cruises do not visit the Ukraine or Russia, still our experienced teams, operations teams, are closely following the situation in the region. And if necessary, we will make any adjustments to our itineraries to ensure the safety and the well-being of our guests and our crew. But we do have 20 years of proven track record of safely adapting our cruises to ensure that unexpected events have a minimal impact on the guest experience. So that those wishing to still cruise, and there are many after the COVID times, especially, they can still do so very, very safely. So the guests feel they are in the very best hands here.
I'm sure that's really reassuring to hear, Kristin. Thank you. That first-hand experience, I think, is invaluable. In terms of those forward bookings, we've spoken to a few people here in the UK that are saying that the conflict in Ukraine is starting to just make people think a bit. It's a bit of a sort of the wait and see factor. Should they just hold off? Are you seeing that at all in forward bookings, particularly, I guess, from America, where you get a lot of customers who are thinking, oh, there's a war in Europe? Are they getting nervous for the future?
Well, I mean, the current cruise it's just American customers on board, right?
Yeah.
And they pretty much all came. They knew what was going on. Of course, the news in the US, I felt are even more scary than when I came over and landed here on Sunday. And I looked at the news here. I have to say, we had 4 wonderful weeks, especially in February, very strong booking months.
Yeah.
So the momentum has built up. We still experience very nice bookings for 2022, maybe at the moment less for the Danube, and more people decide they want to go to the Rhine River, they want to go to France. Many like back-to-back cruises, and our ships in France have all embarkation and disembarkation on the same day. So our guests, I see actually back-to-back bookings coming from the Rhone, going to the Seine, going to Bordeaux. So that is very nice to see. So I don't see too many cancellations, but also this week, not too many new bookings for this part of Europe at the moment, but I do see a lot of new bookings for the Rhine and France and Portugal and Egypt, of course.
Well, great. That is good news. And you mentioned, of course, it's only Americans at the moment, but what about your lovely UK market, which I know you love? How is the UK market, comparing in terms of demand and, in terms of your agent partners as well, who are doing a great job? So what's happening in the UK?
Absolutely. I'm, of course, in touch with our UK office pretty much all the time. After the UK lifted all the travel restrictions, we saw some very, very positive momentum being built as well. So we will have several departures where we have guests from the UK on board already in March. It's going through the entire season. The UK, of course, I know always loved the Mekong River. That is, of course, a very, very hot destination, which I have to say will only start with us with AmaWaterways in the middle of October, just because the area, the entire area, the countries are not complete ready yet to welcome. This also has to do with supply chain and everything. And we want to make sure that when our guests come on board, they feel they get the same great service, the same great food, cuisine, product that they have learned to get from AmaWaterways. But we are very, very ambitious with the UK market again to go full speed, hopefully very, very soon. So of course, all English speaking. UK market is mingling very well with our Canadian and US passengers, also some Australian guests. It's all English speaking what we do. And I know from our guests, they love to be in an international environment. So I think after the COVID years, and once we are through this crisis, the pent-up demand will be huge, and we can expect very full ships for the future.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, you mentioned the COVID years. You and I have talked before during the pandemic, didn't we, around all the different protocols that you were having to put in place. What's the situation now, Kristin? Like, if you came on board, how does it work in terms of mask wearing or social distance? Is it all changed, or are there still some rules and regulations in place? And I'm interested both on the ship, but also when you get off in the different destinations for your shore excursion, because it's tricky, isn't it? You're going into different countries, sometimes into different, which have different restrictions. So tell us how the experience is on board.
Yeah, so we still keep our protocol loosely, because even so many restrictions have been lifted. Even in California, we don't have to wear a mask anymore inside, but it still puts people, they feel safer, because COVID is still around us. I mean, it has not really completely disappeared, right? And we want to make sure that we provide a very, very safe environment on board. So when you come on board, you will have to show that you are double vaccinated. Most of our guests, actually all of our guests, still came on board with a negative PCR COVID test. So that is not a requirement going into the future, but we kept it on our first 3 cruises just because we wanted to make sure everything is absolutely all right. Our guests still have to wear the face mask in public areas, not when they sit down in the restaurants, not in the lounge, not on the sun deck, not in the stateroom, but when they are moving through public space. Our crew is wearing the face mask all the time, no exception. Also, the crew is vaccinated. So from that side, nothing really has changed compared to last year. We still have our plexiglass dividers at the hotel manager's desk, the reception area, cruise manager. And in the morning, before you go for breakfast, our crew takes your temperature. Everything gets disinfected. I mean, with AmaWaterways, everything was, of course, up to par all the time, but I see it all the time on board, So I think this will all go slowly, but slowly. We are still in March, full protocol still in place. Even when we are dancing in the evening, our guests have their mask on while dancing. And they are fine. They are fine. I think everyone is so used to this. And the masks have become actually quite creative. And they are fun.
You have to match them to your different outfits.
Oh, absolutely. Color-wise, pattern-wise. I mean, you see so many different types of masks. And, the guests are really making fun of it. And then I would think when it comes to April, May, and all over the restrictions are being lifted, and there are no more COVID numbers, maybe, hopefully, then we can also think about that we lift our protocol. But right now, everything is in place, except we don't have assigned seating anymore. So we allow the guests to mingle during the dinners, but we don't have buffet. So we will not go back to buffet. We have our beautiful service in place where in the dining room, when you sit down, for instance, for lunch, a mini buffet is brought to your table.
Yeah.
So it's all on your table. You can taste all the different appetizers while you're studying the menu, place your order, your soup, your salad, your main dish, your dessert, but everything is being brought to you.
And you think that's going to remain indefinitely?
Yeah, we have received such great feedback. For a luxury cruise line, the consensus is nobody really wants to get up and you know, go to a buffet and be in line, and we have enough choices.
Yeah.
Usually people who love buffet, they like the variety there, but we have such a huge variety coming to the table, and this will stay.
Yeah. Okay. And then what about when people disembark in different cities that you call into en route? So, you know, how is that working? Are you running shore excursions, but in smaller numbers, or how does it work?
Yeah, so we always had smaller numbers when it comes to shore excursions. Like when we are in port, at the same time, you have to choose between 4 or 5 different shore excursions. And then, of course, we offer the active tours and the gentle walking tours. So we break it out again in smaller groups. So that's also what we see right now. The bike tours, of course, when you go on a bike tour, you don't have to wear your mask.
Yeah.
And we still have the guide in the front and one guide in the back, and we limit to a maximum of 20. But I see so often tours going out with 8 or 10 people, and that's a very nice, comfortable number. Everyone is having, show this to you, of course, you know this, right? The headsets, where you can listen to the guide, and you can be in distance from everyone else. So people take advantage of this as well. And then they just, I really would say there is no problem when it comes to social distancing at all. Yeah. And we all know it when we come from an airline experience, and sometimes, you know, we have to go into a bus to go to the terminal. So those are more the spots, but not here on our ships and not on the shore excursions.
Do you think in many ways, Kristin, that river cruising as a holiday type is actually quite well placed as we come out of the pandemic, because people are feeling reassured because you're keeping things in place and they are having their hand held a bit more because, you know, they're not doing it independently, and you've done all the groundwork in terms of what's needed in each place. Is that, do you think actually it's you know, a good holiday choice for people coming out of this?
Yeah, we actually receive many booking requests from our travel advisors who have sold ocean cruises before, only from clients. They had asked for the ocean before, and now they like to go on a river and explore the river. Number one reason is it's small numbers, guest numbers. It's personal, it's intimate, right? And we often say that ocean cruising takes you to a country, while river cruising takes you through a country. So you travel actually through less crowded destinations. You physically dock most of the time in cities, in villages. You never have to use a tender or so, and you walk out. So it's actually a very, very nice way to explore. With river cruising, you know, we almost double the leisure time we spend in a destination. And again, the maximum would be 150 guests on board, which in this case, we have quite a full ship, but everything is great. But there are still many departures which are booked with maybe 100 passengers, maybe even less. So it truly offers this intimate, personalized, and safe way to explore the world. And again, I mentioned ample of personal space, the balconies, the sun deck, but also when I look at these quaint towns and villages, they are rich in culture, in tradition, in history. And when you look at river cruise ships, it's also very important to mention the sustainability. Yeah. So many of our river cruise ships are green certified. That goes, of course, from engines that are environment friendly, no more plastic water bottles on board, and many things that we do to really not just comply to it, but really show we get local produce on board, very fresh when it comes to the fruits, when it comes to the fish, fresh fish on board, the vegetable. So all of these things are what our guests like to explore and experience today, plus contributing to the communities you're going through by experiencing the lovely coffee bars, local shops, small shops, boutique shops. So this is why people turn more and more to river cruising.
And how have customers changed? I mean, in their behaviors, have they become, you know, I've spoken to travel agents who said some have become more grateful because they're just so happy to be traveling, but others have said that actually people are more demanding because, you know, they've not been able to travel and so they really want that holiday. I mean, or some are saying they're just spending more because they've just been like stuck sitting there, haven't been able to spend it, so they're now doing the really big holiday. So what have you noticed in your customer behaviors or customer, you know, demands?
Yeah, well, what we have seen is the guest buys from the top down. So people definitely have saved money during the pandemic, haven't traveled too much internationally, and now it's the time again. And we live in today's days because we know what happened and we don't know what's coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
So the customers are spending much more on their accommodation. They afford more luxury. They want to do it now. And in addition, what have I seen? Well, because as you know, many of our customers coming from the US have a long flight to go to Europe. So while in the past, they loved a 7-night river cruise, now they want to book longer cruises. They want to go back to back. Certainly, there is less vacation time in the US than in Europe, but people work from home, still work from home today.
Yeah.
And by working from home, you physically can work on travel at the same time.
Yeah.
And this will not go away. There will be a lot of hybrid working from home, in the office, back home, travel experience. So I think this is a great chance for our travel advisors because people have become so much more flexible to really book them vacations, no matter if it's a river cruise, an ocean cruise, a land program, an Airbnb or so, but just to book different destinations. So I feel the travel advisor in today's days has more to do than ever. Yeah. First of all, still working through all the protocols, the jungle of information you mentioned before. Every country still has their own regulations, but also showing all the opportunities, qualifying the guest, the customer. So there is a lot to do for the travel agents and great opportunities. Once the clients are on board, when I look at the current group, they are very nice. They are incredibly happy. We have much more dancing every night than I have ever seen.
Really?
I mean, the nights are really long here. So the mornings are coming early with the wellness. So both is happening. But our clients, they are so hungry to really be out again, socialize again, visit a destination, dance, eat, have a good time, drink some wonderful wines, whiskeys, cocktails. All of this is coming together. So the rivers are definitely throwing us a big celebration right now.
Oh, it's so good to hear. Well, listen, I know we're supposed to be talking about the start of the season, but you know, I wouldn't miss an opportunity to ask you about what you've been working on for the future, because you've always got something up your sleeve. And I know we've reported before about plans for a Magna 2. We've talked about other rivers you might be moving into. You launched your sort of world cruise equivalent, didn't you? Your 46-nighter. I talked to Rudy about that. And I think you had to add another one because it was so in demand. So you're always innovating, but perhaps update us a little bit. Give us something that we've got coming up to look forward to.
In fact, you mentioned the 7-river journey, 46 days, and I'm very proud we have bookings from the UK. On these journeys, we now have opened up the third one. Yes.
Oh, third,
so
okay.
Number 3 is happening in fall 2023. So that's great to see, of course. in terms of an AmaMagna number 2, we still have to see that this year will be a good year. There is a lot of space, of course, available. But last year, we have been busy. We welcomed the Ama Siena, the Ama Lucia, both on the Rhine River.
Yeah.
But we also welcomed the beautiful Ama Dalia on the Nile River in Egypt. Less than 70 guests on board, highly luxurious, doing very, very well. So we might even build a second ship for Egypt because the demand is so high.
Yeah.
But we are also pursuing our project on Rio Magdalena in Colombia.
Yeah.
So this is extremely exciting for us. Everyone is looking into this river, and for us, we are pioneers again, right? Because we are the first river cruise line to enter this river where there is no passenger cruise before. We have to build docking locations.
Wow.
We work with the local governments to make sure, you know, that it's deep enough, right? So then we work with the local villages because they all will provide their supply. Again, we talked about food, everything.
Yeah.
We want to give back to these local communities. So there is so much excitement about our upcoming 7-night cruise between Cartagena and Barranquilla starting in early 2024. So also the ship, similar to our ship on the Nile, less than 70 guests on board, the demand will be huge. From the UK already, of course, I see it from the US, but also from our partners in Latin America. They would love to explore Colombia on the river as well.
Yeah, their own river.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be another river we're going to need to learn about, isn't it? But it's fantastic you're opening up somewhere new, a totally new destination, and it will have a whole different experience, won't it, to the other rivers that you operate? So that's exciting.
Yeah.
And I know, I also wanted to mention, I know today, to celebrate the start of the season, you brought out a new offer, certainly in the UK, about more to love, and you're trying to get more people to take these luxury, you know, your higher grade cabins, but only available through travel agents, which shows a really big commitment to the trade. You talked about how they've got more to do, but they're very important to you, aren't they?
Oh, I mean, 95% of our business goes through the travel advisor, and I don't know any other company who does the same. Whenever I am on board our ship and I ask our guests, how did they find AmaWaterways? 4 out of 5 will say, oh, they came to their travel advisor, maybe with a different river cruise line in mind, but the travel advisor converted them to AmaWaterways, and they will never go back to anyone else. So there's so much loyalty, and it's truly the travel advisor who qualifies the clients and is recommending it. And it's our job and our responsibility to make the travel advisor truly looking good. So they are our heroes, truly our heroes, and we do everything for our partnership. So that is number one, of course. We are very proud. That's why we have these very special offers for our advisors. And they have told us, we truly listen to them, that they would love to have a special offer, which is a package, where there is one final price. It includes everything from the air to the cruise, the pre and post land package if needed. Of course, even the travel protection plan, everything conveniently bundled, attractively priced. And of course, offering the convenience and the added peace of mind, having one trusted supplier taking care of all the arrangements. And I'm very proud that we have doubled our air department in the US. And of course, in the UK, our air team so often comes back to us to make sure that everything can be done when we bundle the air also from the UK. And we see it. Our sales, including air, has really, really gone up.
Right.
And that's what we like to see in the future as well.
Absolutely. Well, of course, Kristin, you're going to be meeting lots of agents. Weekend after next, we're together. We're going to have another chat because you're speaking at the Clear River Cruise Conference back in Budapest. We're very excited about that. So we're going to look forward to that. But Kristin, I wonder if I could ask you, because you're sailing at the minute and because we haven't been anywhere for so long, are you able to show us outside your windows, outside your balcony, and show us the river?
I will be happy, Lucy. So, okay, follow me now. So let's just go out here. I hope this will work. So I open my door to my balcony.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, and it is sunny, like you said.
It is sunny right now. I would say temperatures are about 15 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
We are right now about a couple of hours before we come into Vienna, and it is lovely. I think we will go into a lock maybe very soon. So
Okay.
I'm not sure how long I will have the connection.
We've timed, it's fine. We've timed it perfectly. We just wanted to see that you are genuinely there right on the Danube and how beautiful it looks in the sunlight. It just whets all our appetite for river cruising. And we just look forward to seeing you in Budapest in a couple of weeks, well, 2 weekends time. And we'll look forward to speaking to you again there, Kristin. But thank you so much for allowing us to join you on the Ama Magna on the start of the season. How exciting.
It is like you're cruising with us, Lucy. It is to me like you are next door in the next stateroom. And I also look so much forward to the UK River Cruise Conference in Budapest. It's 10 years now, right? I still remember your first conference in Amsterdam. And I'm so excited to see you, all our friends and partners, all the travel advisors. So much look forward to this reunion again and meeting so many new advisors and talk about what's ahead of us.
We'll be doing that late night dancing and that early morning well-being, Kristin.
Absolutely, you got me.
Okay, all right, I'll see you in a couple of weeks, and thank you so much for today.
Thank you, Lucy. Please give everyone my best regards. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.